Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, with the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain, and an athlete,
And a basket case. A princess.
And a criminal.
Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
Don't you forget about me.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Feel, don't think.
Fear is my ally.
The Force will be with you.
We are encouraged to love.
Be mindful of your thoughts.
I will not betray the Republic.
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Scruffy-looking nerve herder.
I'm not afraid.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
So Cameron reached out to Sparrow, and they had a lot to say about what was going on. First off, Sparrow said they believe that the information that Bellany got about Kennedy leaving and the timetable was from her allies. She still has them within Lucasfilm, which makes sense. We don't know the details because what they're holding on to is top secret. And that's what I want to get into. But there's a lot of stuff, extra stuff going on. But let's first talk about the Puck stuff, and then we'll talk about everything else that they said. First off, Puck and Matt Bellany got information about what was going on from somebody. And the clue that Sparrow took to be Kennedy's people alerting him to what's going on is the fact that he snarked about Simon Hall, her PR flag, setting up the outgoing interviews, which will be a delight of Pulitzer-worthy, journalism. Har har, I'm actually paraphrasing the snarky Matt Bellany. So she's definitely officially going to be out within a couple weeks. We know for a fact that she really hasn't been running Lucasfilm for at least 3 years. Well, 2 years, it'll be 3 in July of this year. And this shouldn't come as a shock to anybody after the failures of her administration and running Lucasfilm. To me, I've got so many stories now about her because a friend of mine actually worked for Steven Spielberg and knew her, and would, flat out call her stupid to her face. Kennedy would throw pencils at her. Kennedy can turn on a dime, love you, hate you, in a millisecond. Apparently, she was a huge runner, jogger, whatever. And she's not very bright. And, I told my friend, her name is Bettina Viviano, that, when you look at it on the surface, all the money that she lost for Disney, she's incompetent. She's unreasonably low IQ. And I mean unreasonably low IQ. Like, room temperature IQ. And she's lazy. Again, I'm going to use the example of The Last Jedi. She had other people read their notes, and then okayed it on the first draft. Nobody that worked for her, like Carrie Hart, who got thrown under the bus, etc., knows anything about telling a story. And it's obvious now, when you're thinking about Kathleen Kennedy, that she had to go, I think, in 2016, riding on the high of The Force Awakens, and yet you could see the boulder of incompetence rolling down the hill at Disney at breakneck speed and at Lucasfilm. But anyway, so Sparrow, they said they don't know exactly how everything is going to be handled. Already we know that Dave Filoni is the head of creative. And I've already had arguments with people about him. They don't give the guy a chance. And they run with, his voice sounds gay. It's like, shut up. How's he supposed to sound like John Milius? And they attack his wife and all the rest of this shit. Anyway, they don't know, Sparrow, don't know what Filoni's position really will be as the titular head of Lucasfilm and the last say in anything. And there are other factors too, but only very few people know what the documents and press release are going to say. So we just have to wait. And there's other things going on here. Of course, then we have Lin-Wen Brennan. She's not really changing a lot of her positions. She runs ILM and will still run ILM, which keeps her far away from the creative process. Apparently, from what Sparrow said, she bent the knee to Jon Favreau, and we will get into what is going on with Favreau, okay? And that may have a lot to do, and I'm borrowing Stacey Ballard's assessment on Favreau's position here as well. Again, we don't know what the document that they have is going to say. The fact that the Kennedy her people did not mention Jon Favreau doesn't mean he's not part of this in some way, either overtly or covertly. All right. But really, Lin-Wen Brennan's position doesn't really change. She's making a lateral move to run the daily operations of Lucasfilm, and that's it. Okay, that is it. But again, let's talk more on the flip side.
I've been basking in it for the last 30 minutes. My God, I feel like a seafront village after the Vikings have left.
So, what does this say about Jon Favreau? Well, first off, we don't know what the whole document, press announcement says that has been prepared or is being prepared. And is Favreau going to be the overt president of Lucasfilm, or is he going to be the covert president of Lucasfilm? If Josh D'Amaro is definitely going to be the new CEO of Disney, does Josh D'Amaro want Favreau to be more flexible so he can jump from IP to IP to IP? We know Favreau produced and I think directed Oswald the Bunny, which is a very old IP from like before Mickey Mouse. Okay, so we've got that going on. However, if it's a covert issue or an overt president, I am the president of Lucasfilm, you can make a deal with him so he could actually run Lucasfilm, run his own production company, and do other things, which would be basically, you have to go, Dave would say, okay, we're doing this, check in with John to make, it. I don't really think that flexibility would be an issue if they do it right. All right, that's my thing. And the fact is, he is looking at old IPs to bring out. Fox did make Romancing the Stone, which is sort of a Indiana Jones type modern adventure. Michael Douglas, played the guy, and it was a pretty funny show. I thought. I mean, it's definitely not as good as Indiana Jones, but what you gonna do? And there are lots of other old IPs that Fox has, and they're worth looking at. So he's been looking at that. He also wants to do more Star Wars, Indiana Jones, maybe a TV show, a streaming TV show, which would be great. And there are a lot of possibilities for what's going on. And again, let me remind you guys, this is Jon Favreau talking. So the idea that he's not there in some way or another with power is bullshit. I want to talk a little bit about Pablo Hidalgo. I saw a friend of mine who will not be mentioned is on Blue Skies as a spy. Political. This is a political person. He is looking at things that the left is saying and cataloging things. And I have him looking at the Pablo issue. Pablo got a tweet or whatever they call the Blue Skies thing from somebody yesterday, apparently, that the guy basically said, I heard in a couple of weeks, blah, blah, blah. I hope this will be congratulations for your section and good luck in the future. Now, I'm looking at that going, exactly what does that mean? Pablo's response was one of his stupid things, screenshot, I got it. But he's changed his bio, and it says, Lucasfilm old timer. I don't know what it means, but in my opinion, to me, it looks like he's going bye-bye. And that's really kind of important with everything that's going on. I don't know why. I hope so. I mean, we can always hope. Is publishing, so unimportant at Lucasfilm now that they're keeping him around? I would think you'd want to get Ahsoka comics out. You'd want to get things like that out. And yet, you can't really hold on to Kathleen Kennedy's bullshit, so, and her hires, because they did not do well for Lucasfilm at all. And that's just what's going on here, right? So I don't know what his position is right now. All I know is there's a change in tone, right? And my friend said he's been very careful about not saying anything that would get him into trouble, even though, he posted some stupid shit about Maduro because drug lords and Latin American cartel enforcers are just heroes to the left if they're commies. Whatever. Gives a shit about the Venezuelan people who are starving, right? Anyway, and no, don't pay any attention to the Venezuelan people who are celebrating. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to put this out there. So I don't really know what's really going on with him. It's hard to discern. And my spy picks and chooses what he thinks is important. So we'll see. I'll probably get another packet from him. It really doesn't take too long to go through posts on Blue Skies when the people that post there have, the IQ of a jelly bean. So anyway, I wanted to put this out there. This is what's going on. Again, the announcement from Matt Bellany that Kennedy was out in 2 weeks is real. Filoni will be the creative head of Lucasfilm. Lin-Manuel Brennan seems to be doing a lateral move to doing the admin stuff. And that's it. We don't know anything about what is going on with Jon Favreau and his position. But he is the one that is looking at different IPs. He is the one wanting to do more Star Wars and doing things that enhance the franchises that Lucasfilm has. So anyway, I wanted to put this out there, and, there's going to be more fan questions for Sparrow coming out soon. And whatever he says, I'll probably do a video on that. So stay tuned, because it's getting spicy. This is Steph, signing out. See you around the galaxy.